Hi there, thank you for joining us once again at Lomond Parish Church here in Ballach, just south of the very famous Loch Lomond. I remember seeing in one of the school staff rooms, I won't tell you where, but the note said, "We intend to have a nervous breakdown immediately following the holidays. We've earned it, we deserve it, and frankly, we're looking forward to it." Also remember seeing a Dennis the Menace cartoon. It was the American version, and there was Dennis poking around in his dad's garage, and his dad asked him what he's up to, and he says, "I'm looking for some rope, because Mr. Wilson," that's his next door neighbour, "says he's just about the end of his." Well, we all get to the end of our tether now and again, not just school teachers. An old minister pal of mine went to the doctor some years ago. He was having pains and he thought he was having heart problems. And the doctor said, "You don't have heart trouble. You've just been eating on the run. I've watched you running around. You think you're Jesus, but you're not. You're just one of the boys, so relax, live, and try to accept people as they are. And you'll certainly feel better when you do." Last week I spoke of Psalm 85, and the writer says, "Lord, will you revive us again, that we may rejoice in you?" I wonder if Peter, the disciple, prayed that prayer when he decided to walk in the water. I'm not much of a swimmer. I'm not very confident in the water, and probably it's my mum's fault. She was never too happy to see me playing around the burns in Kilbarchan or up at the nearby Locherfield Dam. When the water is deep, I still find myself getting anxious. So I would not have been stepping out of the boat that stormy night in the Lake of Galilee. It's one of those miracles that escapes explanation. But let me sketch the scene. I should imagine the moon was bright, somewhere around maybe 3 in the morning. The disciples have been battling a storm all night. But what scares the living daylights out of them is not the storm, but the image of somebody walking towards them in the water. And the Bible says they were terrified. And Jesus immediately shouts, "Don't worry, don't be afraid." That "fear not" appears in fact 366 times in the Bible. One for every day of the year and an extra one for the leap year. And I'm sure we could all do with hearing that word today. Fear not, don't be afraid, because fears and doubts often bind us. One night during a storm, a mum was tucking a wee laddie into bed, and just as she was about to turn off the light, the boy said, "Mummy, will you sleep with me tonight?" And she gave him a big hug and said, "I can't, I've got to sleep with Daddy." And there was a long silence, and a shaky wee voice said, "Daddy's a big sissy, isn't he?" Someone once said, "When the teacher called on me in the class, I became tense and tongue-tied. My heart beat faster. My choice of words was awkward. I was so embarrassed, even though I knew the answer. I stated it so poorly that the effect was anything but outstanding." Can you guess who said that? It was Norman Vincent Peale, one of the most sought-after speakers in the last century. While fear can be a friend, alerting us to danger ahead, it can also freeze us, it can frighten us, and forbid us from living in the faith that God has called us to live. So the story of Peter getting out of the boat and walking in the water and comes to Jesus, it fascinates me. If you want to walk in the water, you've certainly got to get out of the boat. When I was in Bonhill in the early days, we faced a building crisis, and I think we get out of the boat in faith to tackle the problem. We left the security of the old church building while work started, and pews and lecterns and font and hymn books all went into storage in a whisky bond. And for 2.5 years, we met in school. We became, if you like, a churchless church. And it was an amazing venture. And when we returned, I don't think we were the same people. Exile in that school was good for us. We became closer, we became more welcoming, more adventurous because we got out of the boat. And the decision to leave was not a unanimous one. It was not taken easily, and for many it involved sleepless nights. It was not a comfortable time, but as a church, we're not called to be comfortable. We are indeed called to be faithful. Maybe we should learn that. Maybe we should learn what God can do with our resources if we only trust Him. Again, thank you for listening to me this morning, and God bless you.